A young mother was just minutes away from home, driving with her 14-month-old daughter. But she never made it. Her car was found on the side of the road, and she was slumped over the wheel. The question is, who killed Brittany Stykes? If you believe this case deserves justice, share this video, because someone out there knows the truth. Brittany Stykes was born as the second of 5 children to Mary and David Dodson in Ripley, Ohio, a quaint, rural town nestled along the Ohio River, approximately 30 miles east of Cincinnati. Ripley, with its close-knit community and countryside charm, offered Brittany a simple, wholesome upbringing. She was raised on a farm, where she developed a deep love for animals and the land that surrounded her. From a young age, Brittany could often be found working alongside her family, tending to the animals and helping out with various farm chores. She took particular pride in showing goats and chickens at the local county fair, an experience that helped shape her strong connection to her rural roots. Brittany's love for animals extended beyond the fairgrounds. She had a deep affinity for riding horses, spending countless hours in the stables and out on the open fields, feeling a sense of freedom and peace that only a connection to animals and nature could provide. Beyond her passion for animals, Brittany shared a unique bond with her father, David. Together, they found joy in tinkering with cars, a shared interest that often saw them attending local car shows and drag races. Brittany was not only her father's companion in these activities, but also a keen participant, demonstrating a practical side that hinted at a future in mechanics. She often dreamed of one day building her own custom motorcycle, a goal that spoke to her adventurous spirit and independent nature. In many ways, Brittany's life was one filled with love, family, and the excitement of her dreams. She was the embodiment of a young woman living life to the fullest, grounded by her family and the world she loved. 2. Meeting Shane Stykes and building a family. Brittany Stykes met Shane Stykes when she was 20 years old, working at a local Subway restaurant. At the time, Shane, who was 38 years old, was on a personal journey to adopt a healthier lifestyle. He frequently visited the Subway where Brittany worked, initially for the healthier menu options. Over time, their casual encounters turned into meaningful conversations, and a connection quickly began to blossom between them. Despite their age difference, the couple's bond grew stronger, and within a year, Brittany found herself pregnant with Shane's child. As their relationship progressed, Brittany and Shane made the decision to marry shortly after learning they were expecting. This was a significant moment in Brittany's life as she transitioned from being a young woman into the role of a mother. The couple's decision to start a family was one of deep personal significance for Brittany, who was eager to embrace motherhood and the responsibilities that came with it. Her relationship with Shane, though newly formed, provided her with a sense of stability and a future she had long hoped for. Brittany's life began to shift as she embraced the changes that came with adulthood and the idea of raising a family with Shane. The couple's bond was built on shared values and the excitement of starting a new chapter in their lives. Brittany's decision to marry and become a mother at such a young age reflected her hopes for a future filled with family, love, and support. At this point in her life, Brittany was looking forward to what was to come, with dreams of a future built alongside Shane and their growing family.
Hi everyone, this is Mary and David, Brittany's mom and dad. We are getting ready for tomorrow night to have a remembrance for her at 7 p.m.
Murder on August 28, 2013. Brittany Stykes' day began like any other. She called her father to wish him a happy birthday and promised she would visit him later that evening. Alongside her 14-month-old daughter, Aubrey, Brittany set off for her mother-in-law's house in a neighboring town to attend an online interview. The day seemed routine, filled with the usual moments of motherly care and personal responsibility. After the interview, Brittany and Aubrey had dinner before heading back to Ripley, Ohio, to visit Brittany's father, David. As Brittany drove, she was captured on surveillance cameras twice, first by the Georgetown Police Department and later as she passed a McDonald's. These brief moments on camera showed no signs of distress or anything unusual, just a mother driving with her young child, making her way home. At approximately 7:15 p.m., Brittany sent a final text message to her family, notifying them that she was close to her father's house. This was the last communication anyone would receive from her. Hours later, a passerby traveling along Highway 68 noticed headlights shining out from a wooded area. Concerned, he made a U-turn to check on the vehicle. What he discovered would change the course of everything. Brittany was slumped over the steering wheel, unresponsive. Aubrey, though alive, was crying and had suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Brittany had been shot 3 times and was confirmed dead at the scene. Aubrey, despite her grave injuries, was rushed to the hospital and, against all odds, survived. The news spread quickly, and Brittany's father, David, immediately rushed toward the site, desperately hoping it was not his daughter. His worst fears were realized when he arrived and learned that Brittany had been murdered just miles from his home. The discovery of the crime scene left a community in shock, and Brittany's family was left grappling with an unimaginable loss.
I want everyone to remember and to know that we're still wanting answers. The Sheriff's Department's not doing it for us, so we got to keep it out there.
The investigation and early leads after Brittany Stykes' murder. Law enforcement quickly made the case a priority, seeking answers to the brutal crime. Initially, Brittany's husband Shane Stykes was a person of interest. Investigators scrutinized his whereabouts on the day of the murder. Shane had an established alibi, supported by the fact that he was at work throughout the day and later at a gym in Decatur, Ohio, when the murder occurred. Gunshot residue tests were conducted on Shane, but the results came back negative, and he passed multiple polygraph tests. Given this evidence, Shane was cleared of suspicion and removed from the list of potential suspects. With Shane exonerated, the investigation shifted toward exploring other leads. Detectives began to focus on the possibility of a personal motive, suspecting that Brittany's murder may have been tied to someone with a grudge against her or her family. In September 2015, the investigation took a dramatic turn when a tip came from a woman and ex-girlfriend of a man who had allegedly confessed to her about the murder. The man reportedly claimed that the murder was an act of retaliation, driven by a debt owed by Shane. He also mentioned an eerie detail: he had taken a trophy photo of Brittany after killing her. This unsettling revelation prompted authorities to raid a house in Falmouth, Kentucky, in search of evidence linking the man to the crime. Despite these efforts, the investigation remained clouded in uncertainty. In addition to the raid, Brown County officials convened a grand jury to interview several key witnesses, including one of Shane's ex-girlfriends. However, the witnesses proved uncooperative, leaving investigators with little solid evidence to move the case forward. The investigation, though advancing, was still deeply mired in ambiguity. 5. The case today and ongoing investigation. As of today, the murder of Brittany Stykes remains unsolved. However, despite the years that have passed, the investigation continues, with Brown County authorities tirelessly working to find answers. The case has not faded from public consciousness, especially with the promise of a $20,000 reward for information that could lead to an arrest and conviction. Law enforcement has been diligent in keeping the case alive, reaching out to the public in hopes of uncovering new leads that could crack the case wide open. In the years since Brittany's death, there have been several developments, though no breakthrough has yet led to an arrest. In addition to the 2015 raid of a home in Falmouth, Kentucky, authorities have revealed that new evidence has emerged, pointing to a possible person of interest. However, the exact details of this evidence have not been disclosed, keeping the case shrouded in uncertainty. While law enforcement has emphasized the importance of these new findings, they have stopped short of naming the individual or offering specifics, leaving the public and the media in suspense. The slow pace of the investigation has made it clear that investigators face numerous challenges in piecing together the truth. Despite these difficulties, the case remains open, with law enforcement continuing to encourage anyone with information to come forward. The emotional toll on Brittany's family has been immense, particularly on her father, David Dodson, who has never stopped seeking justice for his daughter and granddaughter. His grief and determination have been a driving force in keeping the investigation active, as he, along with the rest of the family, clings to the hope that one day they will know who is responsible for Brittany's murder. The community has also remained involved, with the reward offering a potential incentive for someone to step forward with crucial information. As the case lingers unresolved, the search for answers continues, with law enforcement, the public, and Brittany's family all hoping for closure. 6. Theories and speculation. Over the course of the investigation into Brittany Stykes' murder, several theories have emerged, though none have been conclusively proven. One of the most discussed possibilities is that the crime was related to a debt owed by Brittany's husband, Shane Stykes. In September 2015, a tip from an ex-girlfriend of a man who had allegedly confessed to the murder suggested that it was carried out as retaliation for a debt. This potential motive has been a focal point in the investigation, but it remains largely speculative, as no solid evidence has been presented to definitively link the debt to the crime. Another unsettling detail from the tip was that the alleged killer had taken a trophy photo of Brittany after the murder. This chilling claim added a layer of complexity to the case, suggesting a personal connection or an attempt to assert dominance. However, this information has not been verified, and no physical evidence of such a photograph has surfaced, leaving it open to question. The idea of the trophy photo contributes to the ongoing mystery but does not provide concrete evidence of the killer's identity or motive. Beyond the idea of financial retaliation, other theories have surfaced, including the possibility of personal motives such as jealousy or revenge. Some have speculated that the crime could have been driven by a former relationship, while others suggest the involvement of someone with a vendetta against Brittany or Shane. However, these theories lack the backing of substantial evidence. No clear motive has been uncovered to suggest that jealousy or revenge was a driving factor. Theories regarding potential suspects, including the mysterious man from the tip-off, have kept the investigation moving forward. Though these suspects remain unconfirmed, they are the focal point of the ongoing search. The case continues to be driven by the known facts and the hope that new information will eventually provide the clarity needed to solve the crime.